boost phase intercept from space is not affordable and scalable, we will not produce it because we have other options to get after it.
And then finally, you're working under a pretty tight timeline to address the threat and meet the president's objectives. How are you leveraging your existing authorities, and what regulatory barriers may need to be removed to help you meet your deadline?
Yes, sir. The authorities have really allowed us to gain unity of effort across the joint services, the military services departments, and as well as the agencies, but also across the rest of the federal government to make sure that we're all getting after the same thing simultaneously. I have acquisition authority, I have contracting authority, I have budget authority, I have classification authority. I have all the authorities I need to be successful, and that has allowed us to build those partnerships to get after the threats in new and innovative ways.
Well, just wrapping up, thank you all for your service to our country. I don't think the American people generally understand this threat that's out there. They just don't think about it every day. Thank God we have folks like you who have dedicated your careers and think about it every day. And I told you this, General Gutlein, before, someday you and all of you will look back, your grandkids will look back and thank you for the great work that you did on this. Thank you very much. You're back.
Gentleman yields back, and I'd like to thank all of our witnesses today for their excellent testimony and answers, and also our committee members for their very thoughtful and timely questions. This will end the open session of the hearing, and we'll take a brief comfort break and meet up in 2337 in 5 to 10 minutes. This hearing is adjourned.
"2020 was a banner year for NASA's Commercial Crew program, restoring the nation's capability to launch astronauts into orbit from American soil, all while working through a pandemic and managing a colossal balancing act between work and family. Now, NASA is on the cusp of launching the next crew rotation mission to the International Space Station, known as Crew 2. The Rocket Ranch welcomes Dana Hutcherson, Deputy Manager for the program. She'll talk about the mission ahead, reflect on the program's 10-year anniversary, and share her personal journey from supporting the Space Shuttle program to the new commercial model. I'm Marie Lewis, and this is the Rocket Ranch.
EGS Program Chief Engineer, verify no constraints to launch.
3, 2, 1, and liftoff.
Welcome to space.
So Dana, welcome. Thanks for being here with us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
It's a really exciting time, so I just want to jump right in and talk about all the things that are coming up. We've got the next crew launch. We've got 4 astronauts getting ready to launch to the International Space Station. We know this as Crew 2 because it's the second crew rotation mission to Space Station. So what do you want people to know about this mission? What are the big takeaways?
Well, as you mentioned, this is Crew 2, as we call it. This will be our second operational mission where we're taking crews back up to the International Space Station, launching once again from the U.S. So another proud time in our American history, I think, for being able to have that routine operational mission and that capability to launch these astronauts back from the U.S. I would say this is really crucial for SpaceX as well. This is their second operational mission to the space station. It kind of demonstrates their repeatability and being able to launch these missions back to back. And so it's a really awesome time for us. You know, we're delivering the 4 veteran space flight members that are going to the International Space Station. So they've all been in space flight before. They're not new to this, but it's always welcome that they get to ride aboard a new spacecraft and get to the space station. One of the interesting things about this flight, too, is that we are reusing the Dragon capsule and the Falcon 9 rocket as well in this mission. So this will be the first time that we get to see a reused vehicle being used for these private commercial missions.
And it's interesting you brought that up, the reuse part. This Dragon capsule that the Crew 2 astronauts will be flying on, and of course we're talking about Shane Kimbrough, Megan MacArthur, JAXA astronaut Aki Hoshide, and ESA astronaut Thomas Pesquet. The Dragon capsule they'll be in is the Crew Dragon Endeavour, which is the same Crew Dragon that NASA astronauts Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley flew in the Demo 2 test flight last year. You know, and I was reading about some of the work you've done. You worked on the Space Shuttle Endeavour years ago. We know Shane Kimbrough flew on Space Shuttle Endeavour, and now you're both working on and supporting a new Endeavour, this one being the Crew Dragon, and one that Bob and Doug already flew in. So talk to me about that coming full circle with a new generation of spacecraft.
It is coming full circle. You know, when they named the Dragon spacecraft Endeavour last year, I was so excited. I was like, oh, this is great because, you know, I spent so much of my time working on the Space Shuttle Endeavour back in the shuttle days, particularly the last 3 missions. I was the flow director for Space Shuttle Endeavour. So I was overseeing all of the operations that happened from landing to launch, getting the Space Shuttle Endeavour prepared, not only the shuttle, but the boosters, as well as the solid rocket motors and the external tank. So it was a fun time for me to be able to lead a vast team of really awesome people and getting the Endeavour ready for those space shuttle flights. But now I've come full circle and getting to work on another Endeavour on the Dragon spacecraft.
You talked about your past working on the Space Shuttle Endeavour. Obviously, you're working on launching the next crew in the Crew Dragon Endeavour now. What was that transition like for you from the shuttle program to commercial crew? I know that was a big paradigm shift for NASA.
You know, at the end of shuttle, I realized that I had a huge career left at NASA. And so I needed to try to look for some opportunity. And what do I need? What am I passionate about? What do I want to go and do? And in talking around with various programs around the